So recently, there's a book out, Fire and Fury, inside the Trump White House. So this is from journalist Michael Wolff. So he spent some time in the Trump campaign. Inside the Trump White House for about a year. He had 200 different interviews with Trump himself, and of course, the interview with Bannon, or the interviews with Bannon, have been getting the most attention because they're arguably the best part of this book from what we've seen. Case in point, Bannon versus Ivanka. Now, according to an excerpt from this book, I love this. Former White House strategist Steve Bannon had called President Trump's daughter dumb as a brick. Here's the full quote in context. Quote, a little marketing savvy and has a look, but as far as understanding actually how the world works and what politics is and what it means, nothing. Once you expose that, you lose credibility. So saying, yeah, well, hey, look, she looks good and everything, and yeah, she's got sort of a successful business, but she's also an idiot. She doesn't know how politics works. She doesn't know what she's doing. She's very unqualified for this office. I actually definitely agree with that because she has no qualifications other than being a child of Donald Trump. And I'm sorry, that's not enough for you to actually be able to be in this position, this office as a White House advisor. So I love this for a couple of reasons. Now, here's Steve Bannon, for one, mercilessly going after the Trump family. Now, this is pretty much the reason for the split between Donald Trump and Steve Bannon. Of course, Bannon, he's like, no, you don't understand. I still support Donald Trump. I still think Donald Trump's a fantastic man. He's a great man, and I still support him. This is even after, by the way, Trump himself came out with that statement that says, "Oh, I hardly knew Steve Bannon." You know how it goes, right? Anytime that somebody gets in trouble or they leave the White House or say something bad about the president, he's like, barely even knew him, overstated his importance, hardly did anything, not a part of my inner circle, nothing like that. Really? He essentially ran the place. Saturday Night Live was not off when they did the skit about Bannon essentially running the entire White House. Wasn't off. But okay. So now I think there's a reason that Bannon is holding his fire, right? And this is interesting too because there's an article out in The Hill that says, according to multiple sources with knowledge of the situation, that Bannon's aides sought to impress upon him the need to put out a statement quickly after that the excerpts from the book came out. So this statement was basically to push back and dispute some of the quotes and say, no, you understand, some of those quotes are out of context, and Donald Trump Jr., the guy who said that Mueller would crack like an egg on live TV, that he's actually a patriot, right? Now, those quotes in the book described what he did with the meeting with Natalia Veselnitskaya in Trump Tower, the 25th floor, that meeting where they tried to get dirt on Hillary Clinton. He described that as unpatriotic and actually treasonous, right? So now, look, Bannon's aides are like, you need to put out a statement, you need to fight up against this. And they were actually going to do that. But then the White House, President Trump, put out his statement essentially blasting Bannon. And you got to check out this quote. I'm going to go to Politico here. And this is from Republican strategist Ed Rollins, who's a strategist for the pro-Trump Great America Super PAC. He said, quote, Bannon was shot on the South Lawn and run over by a tank, and the president shifted in gear and ran over him again. I've never seen anybody blown up like he has, or like he was. Oh, man. So the fallout from this, And the reason that Bannon tried to put out a statement on this, or was going to put out a statement, is because the deplorables, right? So now the deplorables at Breitbart, right now they're confused. They don't know who to hate. They don't know who to attack because, oh my God, I'm pro-Trump and I'm also pro-white supremacist and alt-right. But Donald Trump is still pro-white supremacist and alt-right. Oh my God, who do I go after? Who do I go after? They were fighting. And it's kind of awesome. But back to Ivanka, right? Now, Ivanka, look, I've said before, she has no role in the White House. She doesn't actually do anything. She's not a leader on any issue. She said that she was going to be a voice for working women while in the White House. She's going to push for policies to help working women. Really? What has she done? Nothing. The only reason that she's there is that she's Donald Trump's daughter. But we knew that already. This is not a surprise, right? And we probably also should have figured out, and I think a lot of us have, that Ivanka Trump is not necessarily a smart person. Now, she seems to, because she basically shuts up. She doesn't actually say or do a whole lot. So she just kind of flies under the radar. But really, I don't think she's all that smart either. I mean, Trump himself is stupid, right? And we know that. Staffers all over the White House say it. Rupert Murdoch once called him a fucking idiot. I mean, conservatives all over, like people all over the conservative world, they have a disdain for Donald Trump. They think he's a moron, that he's an absolute idiot, but he's a useful idiot. And Mitch McConnell's like, hey man, look, as long as we get somebody stupid enough to sign whatever we put in front of him, I don't care how smart he is. In fact, smart actually works against us because our policies are not based on logic and facts. So yes, let's get somebody dumb enough to sign whatever we put in front of them. And as evidenced by the tax cuts, that's exactly what Trump is. He's just smart enough to hold a pen. But again, everybody knows he's dumb, but it's a pretty good bet. And I think we already know this too, that his kids are dumber. I mean, Eric Trump and Donald Jr. have both proven to be incredibly stupid. So dumb that even their dad thinks, boy, those kids are dumb. So I guess it shouldn't be surprised that, or we shouldn't be surprised that Ivanka is also a bit of an idiot. Now, there's one more thing here. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are like, yeah, look, Steve Bannon, right? He's not exactly a trustworthy source. He's not a good source, right? But the question is, and the response to that is, why lie about this? I mean, it doesn't actually serve him to lie. He is literally the king of deplorables. He is Trump's base. So I think that actually lends all these criticisms a bit of credibility. So there would be no reason to sabotage the relationship with Trump unless maybe it's a face-saving action. Cenk Uygur on the Young Turks said something very interesting last night during his commentary that I think actually applies. Bannon knows it's over. He doesn't want to get involved in the Russia stuff. He doesn't want to get touched with the Russian stuff, right? He's like, I'm not involved. I'm not going to get a lawyer. I'm not going to answer any questions. I am not involved. I am not involved in this. In fact, I called what Donald Jr. did treasonous. Meaning that Bannon, it's a good guess to think that Bannon possibly knows something about Russia, and he's distancing himself. Now, that's Cenk's commentary, and actually on that, I do agree with that. Because I think, look, you don't want to be associated, or at least you don't want to think that, or you don't want to have people think that you're anywhere near the Russia stuff, even if you're in support of the kind of the policies that Trump's putting forward. So Bannon is trying to walk a line. He's trying to get his, supporters, the Breitbart supporters and the Trump supporters, which are all part of that same group. He still wants to keep them together. So he's saying, well, hold on here. I think Trump's a great man. I still think this is, that he's going to make America great again. But I do not want to be anywhere near the Russia stuff. Because I know that this guy, he's going to be going down, and I want to keep my base. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.